Okay, so today we are replacing the joysticks on a PlayStation 4 controller. This is the donor. I love doing stuff like this because it allows me to buy new tools. Purchased a hot air rework station, Nucalox, I think Nucalox, I don't know. It's one of the cheaper hot air rework stations you can buy on Amazon. All of these have to come off in order to get the joystick off. Comes with some extra goodies. This is pretty essential, solder sucker. Now we are going to get a little bit of the solder off of the old joysticks here. Or excuse me, the donor joysticks. This is the circuit board we don't care quite as much about. So the mission here is going to basically be to take this desoldering pump and get rid of all the solder that's on here. Well, I was able to bubble the PCB a little bit, but it didn't seem to do anything. I might have to put an actual tip on here. I'm probably getting a little too broad with the heat because I just bubbled the PCB a little bit. We're learning, we're learning. I'm going to take the middle-sized tip here and we're going to put this on the gun. Again, just bubbling the PCB. Now I've gone and melted one of the joysticks a little bit. We're gonna go just for a regular iron and see if I can loosen up these connections. I'm not feeling great about it so far. Okay, so I've got my soldering iron heated up here, and I'm gonna try and go in with the solder sucker and get a little bit of the solder sucked off of here. Okay, so it's been slow going, but I've removed a lot of the solder from here. I've noticed that these 4 tabs here bend down a little bit, so I'm going to go ahead and take my flush cuts and just try and bend them up a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and try and remove a little more of the solder from around here. If there's any part that's still attached, it's going to be pretty hard to pull the joystick off. The joystick is starting to come up a little bit. Yes, there it is. All right. Geez, that was tough. We might try and replace both of them, but that was pretty tough to get that off. Okay, so new plan on the second one. This one, we're gonna actually add solder to every one of the pads first. Then we're gonna try and suck it away because all this solder is old and it's probably lead-free. It's pretty hard to loosen up. So I think we're just gonna go ahead and actually add solder to everything first, and then we'll try and pull stuff off. Hold the PCB in place while I work on it. Again, this has got those 4 corner tabs right there, right there, right there, and right there. Sony is overheating. The Sony overheated. The Sony camera I'm using to record this overheated, but I did want to bring up some interesting points. So the reason that this whole swap is important is because this is a left-handed PlayStation 4 controller. You can see that the typical buttons that you would have on the right or over here on the left, and you have your D-pad over here on the right, which is, again, backwards from the way that a traditional PS4 controller is. So I was able to remove this, which is the defective one of the springs on it just kind of crapped out. Now it's going to be a matter of installing the donor one from the PlayStation 2 controller that we already removed. Going to see if we can kind of clean up the pins on that. Some of these are a little bent and weird on the new one. So we're going to go ahead and clean that up and see if we can line it up with the PCB. Okay, so we were able to get the new joystick stuffed in here. One of the traces did lift partially on this particular one right there, but I loaded it up with solder and I think that it's going to be okay. But yeah, we're just going to go ahead and solder up the rest of these points. This is the easy part. This is the new joystick and it definitely is not broken anymore. Okay, it's been a couple minutes since I did a little recording, but this is where we're at right now. I was able to swap in, this was the problematic joystick here. I successfully swapped in the donor and it works. I was able to plug it into my computer and test it out. So now for the sake of both of the joysticks kind of feeling the same, I want to make sure that we swap this one out for the other. You know, if the spring in the original one on this side gave out, it's probably not far from giving out on this side. So I'm going to go ahead and pump all the solder off of here, and then I've got our other donor joystick right here, so we're going to swap that in. Okay, so I've got the second joystick installed. This is the fun and easy part. That should do it. Both of the joysticks installed now. centered correctly. Okay, it's both joysticks, and they both feel about the same. So time to take this over to the computer, verify that it works, and reassemble.